Hello everybody, this is what I got up to on a chilled study day as I near the end of my summer holiday. Soon I'll be heading back to Cambridge Uni for my second year of a natural sciences degree. Over the past few weeks, I've been brushing up on my first year content just to make sure I haven't forgotten anything, and also I may have missed studying just a little bit. For this day, the focus was on maths since that is one of the modules I'm going to be taking in my second year. No one understands my love for Alpen, so that was what I had for breakfast. And whoops, I overpoured the muesli. It's the pressure of the camera, you know. Nearly edited this little blip out, but then I thought, no, these study videos are all about keeping it real with you guys. I watched some YouTube while eating my breakfast. Classic me, when am I not watching YouTube? I was watching a few videos from Sid and Elle. I've got a new obsession with their channel. I then did a bit of my own YouTube admin. I scheduled some videos, wrote out some descriptions, added end screens. Once I was satisfied I'd procrastinated enough for the morning, I did a little motivational chant and got myself up and ready for the day. I opted for a big t-shirt and really comfy leggings because, let's face it, I wasn't going out anywhere, and you guys understand, you don't care what I look like. Comfort is of utmost importance. That's one of my very key mottos in life. Unusually, the British summer has actually been quite warm for once, so I shoved my hair up, and I actually prefer to have my hair out of my face when I'm studying anyway. A high ponytail is my go-to at the moment, with a scrunchie to finish, of course. I moisturised my skin and used some lip balm because I have a tendency to get dry skin and dry lips. My glasses were dirty as per, so I gave them a quick clean. I prefer them to contact lenses when I'm just around the house. As always, I started off by making my to-do list. It just keeps me focused on what I want to achieve that day, and it means I can plan my time out as well. For those wondering, the pad I'm using is from PaigeY. The first thing on the agenda was to finish an example sheet which I had been steadily making my way through the day before. It was a sheet of maths questions supplied by the lecturer, and the questions just seemed to go on and on. There were so many of them. I worked in silence because that's when I concentrate the best. About 2 hours in, I took a break and did some hula hooping. I tried to do half an hour a day. And here's me dancing to the Friends theme tune because, like, how can you not dance along? I like to do a few arm exercises as well, which you can see me doing here. This hula hoop is definitely coming with me to uni next term. It's just a way to keep me just that little bit active. I then got back to it with the same questions as before. I got out my pink pen to mark my answers when I had finished the questions. Never underestimate the importance of marking your own work. It's the best way for you to learn where your mistakes are. Answers are there to be useful, but don't abuse them, and always make your best attempt at a question before looking at the answer. Familiarising yourself with what mark schemes are looking for is a very good idea for A-levels and GCSEs especially. So I made my corrections and looked over lecture notes again on anything I got wrong. And here's the satisfying moment I ticked that task off my to-do list. At this point I was feeling rather peckish, so I went to make lunch. Join me as I survey the fridge and see what food I have to work with. Pop, 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 pop! Who says I can't up my editing game? For lunch, I usually have to improvise depending on what's in the fridge, so here it was, and it was actually pretty tasty. I watched some more Friends on Netflix while I ate my lunch, and I actually finished all 10 seasons for the third time. I hope you're proud of me. I then had some strawberries because, you know, trying to lead that healthy lifestyle. The next thing on my to-do list was to go through my probability lecture notes. So I've been working my way through each set of maths lecture notes. just refreshing stuff, highlighting a few key parts, occasionally annotating bits that I think might help my understanding. In general, my strategy has been go over the lecture notes on a topic and then answer questions to test my understanding of those lecture notes. Reading the lecture notes alone just isn't good enough. You just can't be sure that you've remembered it all. For anyone starting uni, I'd recommend reviewing the lecture notes like in the day after the lecture, just so you can make sure you haven't got totally lost. It does happen sometimes. At 3 o'clock, it was time for my mid-afternoon coffee, of course. So I got out my big mug and whipped out the instant coffee. I then checked what was next to do on my to-do list, and it was going through some flashcards. So I did this while I had my coffee. I made these flashcards over the course of first year, and it was definitely worth going through them again because I'd forgotten quite a few standard substitutions and formulae. Flashcards are one of my favourite methods of learning because it's so easy to test yourself with them, and if you use them regularly, their content just sticks in your brain. I speak out loud when doing flashcards because it's like I'm giving my final answer. It's always easy to say afterwards, oh, I thought that. It's like when you think of something but don't write it down in an exam. I then was ready for another break, so I thought I'd do something useful, and I transferred the last trickles of foundation in almost empty bottles into small containers. Waste not, want not. And if you ever wondered what I look like in the chemistry lab, then this is it. I then gave my makeup brushes a much needed clean. The last thing on my to-do list was to catch up on some maths topics that were in part of the course that I didn't study last year. I had a look at the lecture notes on the online Cambridge Moodle site. Unfortunately, I couldn't read the lecturer's handwriting, so I was struggling a little. Like, maybe it's just me, but all the annotations were illegible. Plan B was to look for other online resources on the topics that I needed to look at. I spent a bit of time going through these, but I'll be honest, I think I need to spend a bit more time on these topics to really understand them. So I tick it off, but write a side note of kinda. Since I had time, I thought I'd do an exam question on the probability lecture notes that I'd been revising earlier. I timed myself so as to mimic exam conditions as best as I could. Shortly after I started, it was dinner time, so I went down to have dinner with my family. We eat together every evening and tell each other about our days. For dessert, I had some fruit. I'm trying to eat much less chocolate at the moment, just to be a bit healthier. We'll see how long it lasts when I get back to uni. Then I restarted my timer and got back to the exam question. For some reason, I concentrate so much better when I'm under timed conditions. I think the pressure of exams just haunts me. Out came my marking pen again, and I got the answers up on my laptop. Got 75% doing the question under exam conditions, which I was very pleased with. No, Paige, please don't dab, please don't dab. I then decided to unwind for the evening and watched some more YouTube. I just keep watching clothing hauls and realising I can't afford any of it. To round up my day, I read a bit of PaigeY by Robert Harris. This book was actually recommended to me by my Earth Sciences lecturer last year because apparently there's actually some quite factual stuff about volcanoes in there. I actually went on holiday to Italy over the summer and visited Pompeii, so it was cool to read a book that was set there. An hour later, I took my hair down and got ready for bed. Thank you for joining me on my study day. Give the video a like if you'd like to see more videos like this on my channel in the future. I would love if you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see more videos from me. And good night!